Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. Happy Wednesday. Okay. And Wednesday is Smart Solutions Day. Smart Solution is something that we have, as it implies, smart solution for SMEs and for small businesses. Realize that, small businesses do require some specialized services as well. I'm very lucky, very happy to find quite a few vendors, merchants that caters for small businesses, right? So the last week, I spoke to Alan Pua of Rental Works that rents out devices, including laptops, desktops, mobile devices to big companies as well as to small companies. And rental has a very important, very useful initiative for small companies. And before that, I was with Bubu Chacha that provides all the stationery, paper, right up to printers, and all sorts of office equipments for large companies as well as for smaller enterprises. And they are the #1 online supplier. Today, I want to talk to Vigilant, all right? As the name implies, cybersecurity. And in this world of a lot of attempts, scam attempts, as well as cyber attacks on online, on desktops, on our applications, on our website, what can people do? Big companies have big budgets and big teams to track this, but what does a small company do? And it can be handled. And Vigilant, very interesting. They are able to, get a product, modularize it, and make it so simple that it's okay for big companies, it's okay for small companies, and essentially it's modular. So you actually pay per ringgit per user, right? So here I am. I'm talking to Saifu from Vigilant, and Vigilant is a very, very reputable cybersecurity organization company. Okay, so let me.
Very details, yeah. I mean, we can see, global attacks are happening, and you can see the names, those companies, right? It's Facebook, there's Microsoft, and then there's smaller organizations, all the smaller dots you can see. So it doesn't matter whether how large you are, how small you are, no matter how much security you have, everybody can be a target. And I think that's what this basically tells us, that cyber attacks are increasingly becoming very common, and everybody needs to have that kind of level of protection. And it's not that you wouldn't be attacked, but what is important is that if you are attacked, can we make it very difficult for the attacker to get in? And secondly, even if they do get in, can we limit the damage?
Yeah,
if at all.
Yeah, true. So I think the reality is that if you sit down with SMEs, everyone has heard of ransomware. Everyone has heard of somebody who has, invariably, got caught in one of these. Big organizations, small organizations, it's really quite a topic of conversation, right? But you're right. Some there's no damage. Some, quite severe, and some just paid the ransom. Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, and cyber attacks. Yeah.
Yep. So these are the impacts. These are the type of cyber attacks that can happen, right? Very commonly, this is a typical infrastructure of an organization where you're connected to the cloud, and then sometimes you might have a DMZ, which is a zone where you have a client-facing servers, and then there's an internal servers, and then you have your internal desktops, which all your users are there, and then you also might also be connecting to third party. You might have branches, you might have customers. Everybody's connected through the cloud, right? So as you have mentioned very correctly, for SMEs, the most common type of attacks are the ransomware. And how do the ransomware get in is through phishing.
Yeah.
Because they try to find a user, because the weakest link sometimes ends up being that our users may have got weak passwords. They manage to get into one of your user passwords, and then they can inject the ransomware into your organization, and it can spread throughout your organization once it's inside your network. Secondly, of course, is
so Saifuddin, so many times, and almost every alternate week, or somebody will send us on the Facebook and say, oh, please, my Facebook account was hacked. I didn't ask for your phone number, I didn't ask for this, etc. down there. Or people will say, oh, my phone was my WhatsApp was identity taken by somebody else. This is my new number, that kind of stuff.
yes,
right?
yes.
And it's very common. Some of these are not so important, but if it is part of the business and money is involved, or secrecy or data is involved, then it's quite serious, right?
Yes, correct.
And you are so right, Saifuddin, is that it's the weakest link. It's phishing occurs in the most innocent one. Every day I open my email, somebody will send something like, say, urgent, we got a payment for you. Please click this to see the invoice. And I mean, being in the business for so long, we all know that those are phishing. But somebody maybe genuinely say, oh yeah, payment is coming in. Click. And the moment you click, that's it. The virus gets in and it infiltrates the company's system.
Yes.
And it just takes an innocent person who is just trying to be helpful, because some of the phishing emails are so authentic, they even have correct logos and stuff like that. And I really don't blame people for clicking on it. So every day it's almost every day I have to spam them, I say, oh, this is spam, this is spam, this is spam, right? So yeah, very interesting. So
Absolutely.
I think maybe for the viewers out there, and the SME owners, as we're watching this rerun, it's the most innocent of things, it's the most simple of things, and it's happening on a daily basis. And even when I look at my website, there are so many attempts. I mean, of course, we were able to stop it, but there were so many attempts on even a small website like ours, right? So it's something that is really worth looking at, right? So cyber attacks is not something to say, it won't happen to me. It's happening.
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, one of the reasons why it's becoming more prevalent, one, of course, it's very profitable for these cyber attackers to do it. And the tools are becoming more and more. There's more and more tools that it's very easy for someone, even with very limited technical knowledge, to be able to do cyber attacks. So it just spreads the attack surface so widely. Then.
Yeah, true.
So the impacts to business, as you can see, there's many impacts, but of course the major ones are, of course, disruption of your operations. If you can't serve your customers the time, and then of course to get the business up and running again is another headache. And then the recovery cost, you got to redo, reinstall, you got to call people in. It's really a big headache for many businesses. And if you are, on a reputational side as well, you might lose trust with your customers. You could lose brand equity. These are all the impacts to business.
Yeah, true.
So just to make it very simple, right? A typical IT infrastructure. So today, many people might say, I already have an antivirus, I already have a firewall. So, isn't this good enough to protect me? So you see that the main thing about antivirus is that it will only protect you against known viruses. But today, because of the sheer volume of bad guys and the way that the virus is actually mutating, in the same way that, the COVID virus is mutating, this virtual virus is also mutating itself all the time. So if the antivirus isn't able to keep up with the new type of viruses all the time, it's what they call a signature-based virus. That means if it's a known virus, it will be able to block it. But if it's unknown, it's a new virus, it will not be able to block it.
Yeah.
So you have everything protected, but yet people will still find ways to get in, right? Because that's what bad guys do.
Yeah, and some just do it for fun as well. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And sometimes it could even be your competitor. Maybe they hire someone to just disrupt you. You don't know. So what we have, a solution is we call a managed detection and response. where we will have a detection. So that it's like a software that's similar. Today in today's terms, it is actually an enhanced antivirus that is not just an antivirus which blocks things, but it's also something that can also do surveillance. That means if there's anything funny happening on your device, so even if the antivirus wasn't able to block it, but this antivirus this surveillance software is actually scanning and seeing any suspicious behavior that's happening in your computer. And the moment it detects something, it will send an alert to our center where we have 24/7 analysts sitting there, and we can do a response. So we can then, we can take a response in a sense that we can block that virus from spreading to your other machine, for example, or we could isolate that machine, or we could those are type of responses that we can. So when we detect something, we can actually do an immediate response for you as well. So that so it's not that we're just going to detect and we're going to tell you, hey sir, there's something suspicious, you go and check. No, we will do the response for you immediately, because there's no time to waste. If you go, by the time, let's say it happens at 2 a.m. in the morning and you only see our email at 9 a.m. in the next day, by then the guy would have been gone already. It's too late.
Yeah, actually I've been to your office in that big facilities, and it's 24/7, a lot of computers, high tech, and people monitoring. I think monitoring for big companies as well as for the smaller SMEs subscribers, right? And
Yes.
it's something that I don't think any SME can afford to keep, all right, that kind of a staffing and 24/7. So
Yep.
I think, to subscribe to your services actually, is very helpful. Okay, so maybe you can show us how SMEs can protect themselves.
Okay, so these are the as I've mentioned before, just now in that previous slide, right? Manage detection and response. So the main thing is that we provide 24/7 detection and immediate response and remediation.
Yeah.
This is basically a very important part, and as part of the service, what we do is we are also actually proactively managing and so even sometimes what may happen is that the virus could already be in your place, but they are dormant, because sometimes the attacker is waiting for a certain right time to start his attack. So we are actually proactively also going in and searching in your network or in your endpoints to see whether there's anything hiding inside there. So that it's quite what we call a proactive approach in terms of looking for vulnerabilities, right? And at the same time, we also provide incident report. We also give advisory service, and as you've mentioned, it's quite impossible for a smaller organization to go and put that entire infrastructure in place, plus having the manpower to man it, because 24/7 you probably need at least 4 people minimum to run it 24/7, because the guy's got to be 12 hours shift, and then the next day he probably can't work, so it's very, very much cost effective, and it's very important to have this kind of detection and response for any organization. Secondly is the mobile. Okay, so I didn't mention so much earlier about mobile, but mobile is something where everybody has it today, right? We can't do without it. We go to sleep with it, we go everywhere with it. We go jogging, anything we do, we need. In fact, we can even buy things now. We don't need a wallet, but we can't do without a phone. And so this becomes a very fertile ground for the attackers to also try to attack your phone, because there's a lot of valuable information that they can get in your mobile phone. And that's why we have been very much advocating mobile threat defense as another solution for SMEs, especially because it is very affordable in terms of per device, and it gives you that, in a way you can say it's like an insurance that protects your phone from attacks. Because it could be that maybe you hadn't been attacked for 11 months, but what happens on the 12th month you got attacked? That little bit of protection would have saved you a lot of headaches and a lot of cost as well.
I think the phone is increasingly invaluable, right? Nowadays you lose your wallet, also not so worrisome. But if you lose your phone or you can't use your phone, right? Recently someone just wet the phone. Wow, that's already very traumatic, right? So
Yep.
so many things you keep on the phone. I recently upgraded to the iPhone 13. I lost because based on the timing, I lost a little bit of data. Wow, that was super traumatic. Okay, right. So I understand. I understand what you mean. All right. Okay. Yep. What else do you have for us?
And the last one is Microsoft
Email.
365 email, because again, email is actually one of the main entry points from which an attacker can enter your organization, right? Aside from the mobile phone itself, the email on your mobile phone can also become a entry point, and especially, of course, to your laptops and your, because that's where the attackers come in through. So to have so many people today may not still be using Microsoft Exchange or Google. So we would definitely advocate SMEs to migrate their email exchange to Microsoft 365, because they already have a lot of inbuilt protections inside. And it just makes a lot of sense. Anti-phishing, anti-spam, anti-malware, a lot of those protections are already put in place by Microsoft. And it just gives you a lot of security and comfort. Of course, at the same time, we still need other protection, as I mentioned, the MDR service as well. But this would really reduce a lot of the what we call attack surface. That reduces the attack surface, the entry points. You make it as difficult as possible for the attacker to enter.
So I think maybe to recap for the audience in here, it's really three very important: the network, the mobile, and the email. Those are the three surface or the entry points, right?
Correct.
Okay, understand. So maybe we can share with our audience, what they can do. Can I show a slide that is in your website? Are you finished with this one, right?
Yes, I'll stop sharing. Yes.
All right, so you stop sharing. All right, so I have this one, okay, and this one is basically in the website. So this one is email, right? So you have stated here that 90% of cyber attacks begin with an email attack, and I can attest to that. I mean, I see it every day, but we make it a point never to click on it. But this is Microsoft, and it says here 24 ringgit per device per month. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about this.
Okay, so basically, there are many packages within Microsoft, right? So this is this is one of the more what we are proposing here is the Microsoft 365 base business basic and the Office 365 ATP, which should be good enough for what we believe is good enough already for business to protect their email, as well as be able to do basic functionalities. Of course, if you want to upgrade to other levels of Microsoft, they are, and they will of course give different types of functionality within Microsoft. But for a start, but this is something we would definitely recommend.
Okay,
so
maybe for the audience and for people listening in inside here, if you're not sure whether your protection is sufficient, it's just worthwhile to connect with Vigilant Asia. Here is that website, Facebook, and LinkedIn. All right, and if you forget, you can always go back into Artisan Haven under Smart Solutions, or if you go to Artisan Haven and you search you search Vigilant Asia, this will also come out. So if you're not sure, I think you certainly can contact Vigilant Asia, right? And this one protects the email. So what Saifuddin has been talking about is that for 24 ringgit per device, which is a laptop or a desktop per month, they basically provide basic full service of detecting and helping you to detect, mitigate, and also recover, right? If there's an attack, right?
It's a cloud-based. Yeah, this is for cloud-based. Yes.
Yeah, this is a cloud-based email security, right? Okay, so that's one of the thing, and it's not. I mean, especially for SMEs, banks, etc. Down there is 4,000-5,000 employees. So let's say, for example, a small SME with 10 employees or SME with 20 employees. This basically is 24 ringgit per device per month.
Yes.
Okay, right. So Vigilant Asia also has, as Sai talked about, is all protecting. Here is the mobile threat, and the
Correct.
mobile threat is predominantly mobile phones, right? Which is
Yes.
now what everybody's using, and that's
Or it
that's
could
what
even be
iPad.
devices like, your pets, correct, which are connected to the web. Yes, those also
Yeah.
can be
So
protected.
yeah. So this one is at $9, 9 ringgit per device per month.
Yeah.
Right, and this is with Zimperium. Right.
Yeah, this is cheaper than 1 cup of coffee at Starbucks.
True. All right. So if and what's important here is especially maybe the CEO and the the one down or the senior managers, those who are approving payroll expenses and quotations, etc. It's 9 ringgit per device. So sometimes people go in and use, let me use the Wi-Fi that's available at XYZ shop. That could be a very easy entry point. So for 9 ringgit per device per month, that protects, slows down the hackers, or at least you will know, and then Vigilant Asia will help you detect it, mitigate it, and even help you recover,
Yes.
right? Okay, so the third piece inside down there, third one is this one.
Yes,
This
correct.
one is endpoint. That means
Yes.
all the servers, all
The
the
laptops,
laptop
PCs, yes.
PCs inside down there, and
So it's
that's at
similar.
28 ringgit.
Yes, this is similar to the mobile one, but that one is for mobile, and this one is for the other endpoints, the laptop.
Okay, so you actually have this one, which is Microsoft 365. Then you have that's for the email. This is for the mobile, and this
Correct.
one is for the laptop
Endpoints, yeah.
endpoints, servers, PCs, desktop, etc. down there.
Yes.
Right. So it's a simple rental, all less than 50 ringgit a month, and you basically get the protection, right? And I think the important thing here is that if you look at Vigilant Asia, CREST certified, ISO certified, and also winners of quite a fair bit of cybersecurity awards. Sorry, my mic was muted. That was a very nice chat with Saifuddin from Vigilant Asia. It's a very technical topic, but it is something that is so common, right? And I really hope that SMEs and people who are working a lot with computers take notice of this. And to do cybersecurity is a very expensive item, all right? But what they have done is put it down on a modular basis. And so, want to protect mobile devices of key people, then basically is 9 ringgit, I think 9 ringgit per device per month. So for a small SME, maybe just a few key people. And if you want to protect your desktops, for example, I think it's 28 ringgit per device per month. So desktop, laptops, those are quite crucial. And of course, if you want to protect in terms of the network, all right, I think that's also about 20 plus ringgit per month. So you can actually look after all the entry points to the system. It's a bit technical, but we are now in a digital world. And this is something that we have to look at because there are a lot of people out there who are scamming, right? And if they do get through, even sometimes just for fun, but if they get through, it's very detrimental, right? I know, when any of my system or application even goes down for whatever reason, right? And even if it goes down for 1 hour, 2 hours, even for a small company like mine, it still is quite painful. Okay, so it's a little bit of protection in order to save a lot of unnecessary stress. Okay, that's our show for today. A quick reminder, I'm Jade from the Artisan Haven, and inside the Artisan Haven, we do have a section called Smart Solutions, and Smart Solutions is really services provided by SMEs, all right, that is for smaller companies as well as big companies, all right. So that's me, Jade from Artisan Haven, and this is our Smart Solution. It's all about technology, innovation, self-help, and it's getting smart with our partners. And we do have Affin Bank and Affin Islamic that's supporting this particular initiative of ours. All right, that's our show for today. Before I end, I just want to show you Bubo Chacha. Bubo Chacha is basically, I think, also good for SMEs. It's all stationery and products, and they've got wide range, and they are the #1 online supplier. All right, so here's a Bubo Chacha, a very short clip of my little visit to Bubo Chacha, and before I end the show. That was me at Bubo Chacha, quite and amazing. All sorts of stationery, and they are online, all right, which means that you can just browse through their website, order online, and then basically it will be sent to you, all right? Very simple, no need to go to stationery shops. All right, so that's our show for today. Thank you very much for watching. Here's our signature sign off. I'll see you next Thursday, tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow I'll be I-Chan Crafts. So we are live every weekday around 5 p.m. Tuesdays is with Alfred Holt, that's at 4 p.m. And Fridays is with Lisa, and that's also at 5 p.m. So we have other shows during the other times. So do catch us. All right, so bye.
Good rain, all here in a parade, accolade, serenade, also in a parade. Glamour and high fashion, adventure and action, created with passion for your satisfaction. Shopping is so easy for me and family.